people of the internet. New sewing video! Yay! I'm hoping this is going to be a short one. We shall see. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. What I want to be doing in this video is to reproduce my favorite bikini top ever, which is this one. It might be a bit dirty because I've been using it because it's my favorite. Okay, so don't judge if you see any sunscreen somewhere because, you know, whatever. It's also old, so it's not in the best condition. But hey, this is what I want to try to remake. I've never done this. It could be alright or it could be a massive disaster, but we're going to try. And for that, we're going to be using a sewing machine. I know, things have changed. Let me tell you what I have thought for this. First of all, I would like to make it fully reversible. So, 2 fabrics, materials for this project. I'm in Spain at the moment and I did carry my bag of fabric in my suitcase. Some of you have already seen these fabrics if you've been following me along. These 2 swimsuit fabrics is basically lycra, so it's stretchy, bright yellow, bright hot pink. Those are the colors. I also bought some thread for this and I'll be using polyester thread. This one's dirty. Why are you dirty? Why did my thread is dirty? Okay. So these are the 2 colors that I have chosen for this project. Some boning for these edges. This is actually pretty rigid. There is some boning on the side to keep the structure of the garment. And that's not the final thing. Wait. Now the last thing are these breast thingies. Of course, these are ginormous. Seriously, this is like, no, my boobs are way smaller than this. So the original has this, but they're tiny, like so. So I need to cut those to size. I think I can make this in a day. And I kind of need to make this in a day because the weather is going to turn for the worse and I need to film the reveal for this and I need to be in a bikini. I'm on a schedule here. I need to finish this in a day. There is no other choice, my friends. No other choice. We need to finish this in a day. I'm not going to start this today because it's my friend's last day in the village and I'm going to go and spend some time with her, but I hope to start this tomorrow morning. We're doing this. Here we go.
First, I'm extracting a pattern from the existing garment. I'm only doing half so I can cut the fabric on the fold and have both sides being perfectly symmetrical. I'm folding the fabric in half and pinning the edge of the pattern to the fold. Then I'm drawing the outline of the pattern to know where to sew and I'm pinning the rest of the pattern. I'm cutting the fabric with 1 centimeter of seam allowance. Yes, we're using the metric system here. Next, I'm pinning the cut piece to the other fabric. I'm basting the 2 fabrics together before cutting to try to make the 2 pieces as similar as possible. I decided to cut one side after basting the whole length on that side to make it easier to baste the other side. Hopefully that makes sense. Then I basted and cut that other side. Here you are seeing my mom's hands. Hello mom! She's the expert, so she helped me to set up the sewing machine and to do some testing with different stitches on the fabric. We finally found a zigzaggy stitch that worked, And here I am sewing the final garment. Super fast, as you can see. While I was sewing, I made sure to leave unstitched one edge of the boning channels and the lower center front to be able to turn the garment inside out and to put the breast pads in and out as well. Here's the result. Next, I'm removing the basting thread. After that, I'm trimming the corners and cutting the seam allowance to half the length. I'm turning the garment inside out and using a pen to help me do that with the straps. Boning channels! First, I'm pinning and basting them. Then I'm sewing them by machine. There were a lot of layers of fabric on the edges at this point, so it took me a few tries to get this right. Here I'm cutting one of the boning pieces in half because it turned out that that was the perfect length. Go figure. I'm sanding down the cut edges to a round shape so that they don't poke through the fabric. I'm putting the boning inside the channels. Looking good! And sewing the opening shut by hand with whip stitches. To get the breast pads to size, I'm first drawing an outline with pencil. Then I'm cutting it, just like that. And the breast pads go in. I'm not closing this gap to be able to remove the pads later if necessary. The last thing to do is the loop that shapes the bikini's center. First, I'm drawing and cutting a rectangle of 11 by 6 centimeters, which includes 1 centimeter of seam allowance all around. Then I'm basting it, going through the pencil lines on both sides. I forgot to film the sewing, but here's the result. As before, I'm removing the basting thread, cutting the excess seam allowance and turning the fabric inside out. Finally, I'm placing the loop in its position and sewing it using whip stitches. This wasn't the tidiest of seams, but it won't be seen, so I really don't care. guys. I'm not sure if you're going to hear anything I'm saying. I hope so, because I think this background is nicer for the outro. There is no wind today, so hopefully you can hear what I'm saying. There might be a bee coming through at some point. Oh boo. Ugh. Weird thing. I hope you enjoyed this short video. It was a little bit different, I know. I used the sewing machine. That's me. This would be lovely if I wasn't trying to sew. I think the top turned out really nice. I wasn't expecting this to be so successful, but I'm so pleased with it. As always, do let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed watching and think you might like to see more sewing shenanigans, don't hesitate to subscribe in the button thing, link, red thing down below. Wind, stop. Why have you started right now? I'm having so much fun right now. I'm also going to upload some high quality pictures of the bikini top to my website. The link to my website is down below. Oh shoot, I forgot I was filming. I just got a message. I think I have to go and eat lunch. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.